Right, okay. So, bruv, do you want to do the introduction for the second segment for us, please?
Yeah, welcome to segment two of the Football Referee this week. I'm Trevor Gear and he calls me bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hickins, and he calls me Cos.
And my name's Tony, and they call me the Enforcer.
Look at that. Your name's the coolest here, man.
Hey, you gave me it.
Right, so VAR, bro. VAR. There's been a
VAR,
few.
yeah.
Yeah, let's start with Andy Burnham. So Andy Burnham said that he's not a fan of. We know who the I think it was in Manchester mayor. I think. Do you remember him? The one that's
Andy
been in the
Burnham,
news.
yeah, yeah, indeed,
Yeah,
yeah.
Andy Burnham. Yeah. He's not a fan of VAR. He said, if I become prime minister, I'm gonna get rid of VAR. And I thought, in your dreams. But anyway, you can't mess with football. I don't care who you are. But anyway, so VAR, bro, love it or loathe it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what it's got to do with Andy Burnham at all. And as you say, you'd have no right to start interfering. On
No.
balance, VAR, it's been with us now, I don't know, a couple of years, is it? Um, and it's not something I would, to the question, would you get rid of it? And I wouldn't. No, I think ultimately it's probably that the net position is a positive that they've got more things right than wrong. But the problem is, okay, as everybody says, it's not VAR. It's sorry, as a fly there, not VAR. It's the people who run it. It's like a car. A car doesn't kill people. It's the driver. God forbid. So VAR as an idea, I think, is very good. But periodically, the Referees Association, PGMOL, they give out apologies, which all too often are a complete waste of time and utterly frustrating to, no doubt, the clubs concerned. Now, I take on board what you said earlier, Tony, about if it affects our club, we think one way, etc., etc. But yeah, and that's probably a fair comment for a lot of people. But probably like both of you, I like to see myself as a fair-minded football fan. Yeah, it's all very tribal, and we do tend to see our own teams in a slightly different way. But I would say where a decision goes in favour of Palace, say VAR wise, which shouldn't have done, and I can't really think of too many, but there have been those. I'd say, yeah, that should not have happened. Now, is a number of these. The other day, Howard Webb, the boss of the referees, came out and they said this that in these three games I'll mention, the first one, ironically, was Bournemouth against Palace. A
Mm.
couple of weeks ago, I went down to Bournemouth to watch the game and Bournemouth beat Palace 3-0. And fair cop, I mean, no arguments with that. They're a good side, Bournemouth, and they deserved it. But it was 1-0, and Bournemouth got a penalty. Now, we were actually quite close to where that took place. And basically, the ball came in. It may have been a corner, I can't quite remember, or a free kick. But Henderson, our goalkeeper, caught the ball and dropped it. So he went down, tried to pick it up, and the lightest glance on a player of a Bournemouth player, who then ran and decided to fall over after 3 or 4 steps of running. Incredibly, the ref blew for a penalty, so of course it went to VAR. Excuse me, and we were confident that it will be overturned, or at least he should be asked to go to the side, because where VAR think, well, actually the ref may have got that wrong, they don't like to overrule, for the dignity of the ref, so they send them to the side. Incredibly, the thing came up on the screen after a little while saying penalty correct or whatever it said.
Mm.
Now, people had it on their phones. There was no way that was a penalty in a million years. Not because it was Palace. If it had been Bournemouth, who and Palace had got the penalty, I'd have said exactly the same. There's no way it was a penalty. You may or may not have seen that incident, but because subsequently, in the recent PGMOL confessions, it was said not only was it never a penalty, for which we apologise, but the ref should have been sent to the side. Now the point is, we don't sit here just throwing out criticisms against refs or anybody else. Of course, being a referee is probably one of the toughest jobs there is in sports. It really is, and
Mm,
not many of us would want to do that. But that doesn't mean to say that we can't be critical of a situation. And I could not believe that I won't say who the VAR ref was. I don't. It's not for me to name people, but he's an
mm,
experienced referee. Either he understands VAR or he doesn't. When when it's a clear and obvious error, this comes into it. Which that was, and I invite you to look it up on YouTube in the game against Bournemouth against Palace. When it's a clear and obvious error, you ask the ref to go to the side if he's given a penalty or
mm,
whatever. He didn't. He simply said it's a penalty. Now, of course, subsequently, a couple of weeks later, PGMOL had to come out and say that was never a penalty, never a penalty, not in a million years. It wasn't, and this is the point I think about this. If something is debatable, and lots of decisions, you could almost say most decisions are debatable. So that's maybe when we side with our team more, when it could go either way. But these apologies of these ones I'm mentioning, they weren't
mm,
debatable. They were clearly wrong. And you have to say, in that case, did that VAR referee, who's a well-known referee, did he even understand? And of course, they have a team of 3 or 4 others, and sometimes
mm,
you can hear the discussions that go on. I've not heard that
mm,
one. Does he even understand how to operate VAR? Or is he got to buy a byproduct? Has he got a side job as I don't know, as a salesman or a rep or something? Refs are professional. That's what they do. How could that
mm,
man not have sent the ref to that side? So that was one thing for which an apology was given. But that's a fat lot of use, isn't it? And indeed, some people say, should there not be, in a case like that, a retrospective yellow card for that player at Bournemouth who dived? Now, you may
mm,
say you can't really do that, but maybe you can, because he got away with one and he got a fake penalty, which they scored. They won
mm,
3-0 overall, and I'm not even suggesting it affected the result because Bournemouth were the better team on the night, but that isn't the point. So that's that
mm,
one. Now, one closer to home for you two, last week,
mm.
Manchester United against Forest. You probably know this one.
Yeah.
Again, an incredulous decision, which has been apologised for, but a goal was scored. Excuse me. A goal was scored, and in the process, just beforehand, the ball came in, and Bumo, a very good player in my view, almost caught the ball between his thigh and his hand. His hand is on the ball. It goes through, and they scored, and the goal is given. And you think, well, of course, it's VAR, and there was a big outcry. I mean, at the time, Gary Neville, who um, most people respect for his football knowledge, he said that's never a goal. And he's a Man United fan and former man. It could. How could a VAR referee actually say, yeah, that's a good goal when it's come off the hand of someone and then goes on to the player who scores? Again, you say, do they understand what VAR is all about? And the last one is Brentford v West Ham. Now, West Ham are possibly most likely to go down rather than Spurs. Spurs will only need a draw on at home to Everton, I think it is, on Sunday. West Ham are at home to Leeds, and now they've got to win, and Spurs have got to lose. So the chances are, I mean, it could go either way, but the chances are West Ham will go down.
Mm,
Now, in their game against Brentford a week or two ago, which they lost 3-0 at Brentford, and a friend of mine, she's a West Ham fan, and she said, I was screaming at the TV. We weren't playing football. I don't know what it was, she said, but it wasn't football. So it's not like they were playing great. They've had a bad spell, but there should have been. I won't go into the details of each of them, but again, VAR, the PGMOL have apologised because in that match, West Ham should have been given 2 penalties. Now these are not press opinions, media opinions, pundits' opinions, my opinion. This is the very referees association who actually oversee VAR and all that goes with it, and they say West Ham were denied 2 clear penalties. So I say again, we might say with the ref on the spot, it's not easy. He doesn't always get a good view, although there are assistant refs as well, and they can make
mm,
mistakes. But that's where VAR was designed to clear it up where there's a clear mistake. You send them, if you don't want to overrule it, send them to the thing at the side, and mostly they say, "Yeah, I got that wrong." Occasionally they stick with it, but they often acknowledge their mistake. Now, West Ham are likely, should we say, most likely to be relegated. Two penalties that they may have come back to Brentford. They could have beaten them even. So it's not just the inconvenience of wrong decisions. The effect of some of these decisions will relegate a team. Now, that cannot be right. And the VAR ref in question, I can only think of the name, I won't name him, the one at the Palace game. What do you do? Do you give him retraining? Why should you retrain someone who cannot see what 99.9% of the football world and viewers and fans and can see? Either he
Mm.
doesn't wear glasses and he should, or he doesn't understand the system. I can't think of any other explanation except crass incompetence. Now, as I say, I'm not one throwing out that. I don't often talk that strongly about something, but to me,
Mm.
it is ludicrous. And it just gives ammunition to those who say it should be scrapped, which I don't think it should be, because probably on balance, they get more right eventually than wrong. But that doesn't excuse what in these examples, and there's others as well, where they have to come
Mm.
out cap in hand and apologise because their people have got it what's the word I was going to use? Totally wrong, totally wrong.
Mm.
So yeah, I've got issues with VAR, but not to say I would scrap it. But they all need a
Mm.
rethink in this close season, retrain their people to actually use their common sense, and don't
Mm.
start thinking, "Oh no, he's caught the ball almost in his leg, but that doesn't affect the goal. He's got it in his hand, so
Mm.
it's not handball we're playing; it's football." So yeah, I get mystified at the sheer apparent incompetence. Yeah, I've said all that.
Um,
Got it off my
yeah.
chest.
We'll, we'll listen to the enforcer now.
Yeah, well, the whole point of VAR coming in the first place was to, in their quotes, bring more goals into the game and to clear up evidence that they couldn't tell, like the fouls and stuff like that. And if anything, it's made less goals happen and obvious fouls overwritten, even though, you know, they should have been either give booked or sent off.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of things that VAR gets wrong, and in my opinion, it probably depends on who's in the lead in a sense. Man City have for a while now had a few incidences where we should have said, well, he should have been sent off for that.
Right.
And yet again, kept him in the game. Arsenal, this entire season, somehow they've managed to not get one single red card.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Mm.
how on earth they've managed that? Like I said, they've got deep pockets full of oil. So, so I mean, Kai Havertz, yet again, repeating myself again, he should have been sent off.
Mm.
Same thing happened with Xavi and Van Dijk. He got his red card, even though I would arguably say the Xavi Simmons and Van Dijk incident was a little bit more tamer than what happened with Kai Havertz and the Bournemouth player.
Mm.
Burnley player. And yet Xavi got a straight red and Kai got away with it. So this is where you have to think now, who is, who's on the side of VAR here now?
Mm.
Is it come down to it as, okay, you know what, Arsenal, they've bottled it 3 times in a row now. We feel
Mm.
sorry for them. Let's give them this win.
Mm.
Has it come
Mm.
down to that? And with that
Mm.
case, what's the point in having it? In that sense of saying, what's the point in having VAR if it's not going to help
Mm.
actual benefit? Like say,
Mm.
who was it now? West Ham when
Mm.
they got their goal revoked. Same thing. The entire Arsenal squad has been fouling goalkeepers this entire season, especially with the first game, Man United, when it was against us. They fouled
Yeah.
Bayinda. Bayinda couldn't catch it, and the ball went into the net.
Yeah.
And it's not just us a lot of times, but the one time it happens to Arsenal and they get away with it, this is what I don't understand.
Mm.
Where's the equality rule in this? This is where, like I keep saying, something's not right here.
Mm.
there needs to
Mm.
be more investigating what's going on because
Yeah.
it's not fair. West Ham
No.
could have been in literally a point between now Spurs and
Mm.
Arsenal wouldn't be celebrating last night at all. Because if the game
Mm.
ended in a draw, it would have been a lot
Mm.
closer for Man City
Yeah.
to
Mm.
come up, or it would have been into, let's say, a playoffs between Arsenal and Man City again for the
Mm.
title. So it shows that VAR isn't really helping in the sense of what
Mm.
they brought it in for. It's literally just
Mm.
revoked goals, and
Mm.
if anything, it's infuriated more than actually helped.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to like violent conduct against, yet again, Arsenal, Man City, when Gabriel literally headbutted Haaland
Yeah.
and
Mm.
that was
Yeah.
classed as
Absolutely.
non-violent conduct. But when
Mm.
Martinez, just a little pinch of Calvert-Lewin's hair, gets sent off for violent conduct, which this is what I don't understand. What's going on
Mm.
here? You know?
Mm. Mm. Okay. So let's try and make it a level playing field because you've given all these instances, but there's one that you've missed out. I don't know if it's because Bruv's mentioned it or because you deliberately mixed it out. So let's put it back in the mix. Manchester United, Bueno,
I'll
your
be honest,
thoughts?
I didn't really watch it. I watched the first half and then I had to go somewhere afterwards. So this is why I said
Well, much.
I can't really give my opinion on it because I didn't really see the incident and I've not really got around to watch the highlights either. I was just
Have
happy
you
that we won
not?
the
Okay.
game. So
All right.
so
I'll let you off on that. I thought you deliberately left it. All right. He's a
nah nah
Manchester United fan.
nah.
Is that? We'll talk about the rest. We'll talk about the rest, but we won't talk about Manchester United. But no, I'll let you off. Now, Ledonsky of
Well, sorry. Before
Barcelona.
before you say that, Kaz, just to interrupt,
Yeah,
did you see the Mbumo incident?
I
I
heard of
did.
it and I saw
I
some
did.
screenshots
I
of
did
it.
see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did. Yeah. So what was your
Yes.
view there? What was your? Did you
Well,
agree
it's
with
not.
what I said?
As a football pundit, I'd say I don't approve of it being awarded as a goal. As a Manchester United fan, I'd say let it go. Let it go. Ah.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Well, at least I'm being honest, you know. So I've got two opinions on it, you know, and they both balance up each other, you know. So as a Manchester United, on one hand, on the other hand, you know, yeah. So that's my
That's
I
your
mean, if you're
take.
being
Okay.
realistic, the amount of times I get overruled for us, I mean, it's one of those like,
yeah.
can we have it, please?
Well, tell my bruv that. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to Crystal Palace. The
Yeah.
Conference League. I've lost touch. What's happening there? Are we still waiting for the finals?
Yeah. The final is next Wednesday in
Right?
Leipzig in Germany.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel fairly confident about it. I don't really know Leipzig in terms of what kind of standard they are, but I think they're a good side.
Hmm.
Really, just to say on the plus side or the hopeful plus side, if Palace
Hmm.
win, although we've not had a great season in the league, and I think partly that's because of being in Europe, you have the Thursday night games, and it's amazing how the following Sunday when we played, we've struggled a bit quite a few times. So, and of course, that's
Hmm.
happened to other teams. You could say that last year with Tottenham, they won it, but they finished, I think, 17th in the division.
Hmm.
And previous years, the same thing happened. I think West Ham, when they were in the Conference League, they struggled as well. So it's
Hmm.
almost a result of being in Europe. But anyway,
Hmm.
what I obviously hope is going to happen that Palace win it. I shall watch it. I'm not going there, unfortunately, though many of my family are going. And
Hmm.
if we do win, that will be three trophies. Okay, we include the Community Shield, but FA Cup,
Hmm.
Community Shield, and a European trophy within 12 months. And whatever people think of Glasner, and I think most of us are grateful to him for what he's done for Palace. If we do get, particularly
Hmm.
if we get next week's trophy, the conference. But even if we don't, he really
Mm,
gave us our first major trophy and made us noticeable in football in the Premier League. And he's done
yeah.
a great job for Palace, and it'll be interesting to see where he might go. But certainly, the idea of having three trophies in that period of 12 months is
Mm,
something most of us at Palace would didn't think we'd ever really see something like that. So it's
yeah.
brilliant, and yeah, I'm just crossing everything that we win that next week.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, do we know what's happening with the next managerial position? No, nothing.
Not really. I mean, there's sort of rumours around. I mean, there's rumours that they've spoken to Iriola at Bournemouth, and in a way, that would seem unlikely because it would be a bit of a sideways move. I think we're probably similar
Mm,
sized clubs.
yeah.
Unless, as some managers, we heard a rumour that he wants to live in or near London, so that could be a
Mm,
plus point for a team like Palace, who play in the outskirts of London.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's possible. But I, we're all hoping that at least someone is being lined up because
Yeah.
if the transfer windows are anything to go by, sometimes in the past we've been quite late coming to the party at getting new players, and we need to get a new manager in place pretty soon after
Mm,
the end of the season to discuss with him, with the board, who he wants, what players he wants to go for, who has been transferred out. So really,
mm,
sometime in June, ideally, during the World Cup, I suppose, there needs to be
mm.
some progress. We may be surprised and find the day after Glasner's gone, a new man is named. So
Yeah.
that's always a
True.
possibility. But yeah,
Very true.
as things are at the moment, there's nothing sorted as far as I know.
Yeah. And also on the plus side, at least it's not Brighton's manager that you're hoping to
No,
get.
no. Well, Brighton,
Yeah.
man, he's done a jolly good job there, hasn't he? He's
Yes,
pretty
yeah.
good. But
Yeah, I'm
he's
just
not
talking about
leaving.
the
He's not leaving Brighton, I don't think.
I
yeah.
Not
think
No, I
this
you're
was just
talking
time.
talking
about
about
Rapids Derby one, yeah.
the close rivalry. That's what I was thinking. At
Yeah,
least it's
I see
not.
what you mean with the rivalry we've
Yeah.
got. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As you don't have that. With now Ledowski coming to is 37 years old. This one's going to be directed at you, Tony. Ledowski to Manchester United. What do you think? He's 37.
Well, Lewandowski's been good for years. He's been brilliant at Bayern Munich, even at Dortmund as well when he was there. He's the reason why he went to Bayern, and it's been okay at Barca. He hasn't really been the goal
Barca or
scorer.
Barcelona? Oh, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah, Barca. Yeah.
He wasn't really the goal scorer as he was in Bayern Munich, but
No.
he was still good. He still got goals regardless for them.
Mm,
Uh, Now that he's free at in the summer, I mean, from a experience view, I would take
yeah.
him because a lot of our
Yeah.
strikers, especially if we do get another striker during the summer, apart from
Yeah.
if we do get Lewandowski, we do need experienced strikers to help our current striker like Šeško and a few others,
Mm,
to just help him, learn a bit more. Because, like I said, Lewandowski was brilliant at Bayern. He was a goal scorer. He was more or less the hurricane at the time there. He was just
mm, mm,
getting those goals in and out, penalties, no problem, free kicks, whatever. He was brilliant. So from
mm,
that point of view, when you want a goal scorer who knows how to actually put the ball in the net, of course you would want
mm,
him in your team. But yet
mm,
again, age is coming into the view here. He's 37
mm,
and it's coming time to retirement. So
mm.
if he wants or he's accepted it of a, let's say, a year's contract,
Yeah.
uh, just to help out, with the experience of our players, then fair enough, give him a chance. He's never played in the Premier League. Maybe he just wants to, uh, feel how it is, try out the Premier League. And like I said, a
Yeah.
year is it's only a year. If even if he wants to do that, if he doesn't like the
Yeah.
Premier League, doesn't like how, or even if he hasn't got the legs for it, then
Yeah.
fair enough. You stayed for a year, you tried it out, you helped up our players in the end of the day. We can't complain,
Yeah.
can we?
Yeah. Of course. Bro, free
Yeah, I
agent,
mean,
37 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
echo everything Tony said there, really.
Mm.
I mean, is there a transfer fee or is he just on a free
No,
now?
just free.
It's a
He's a
free
free.
Yeah.
agent. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what have they got to lose? As you say, his experience and abilities, he should rub off on their players. So I think it'll be a good
Mhm.
move. Hmm.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, well, I like the guy actually at Barca. I don't like Barcelona because obviously I like Real Madrid, but I like his style of play and his agility there. He's not one of those lazy players that just But obviously his legs are tiring out now, and but he's still got experience behind him. Now, what do we make of the Spygate scandal? Spygate. Yeah,
Yeah,
bruv.
yeah, it's quite interesting when it was being talked about last week, and they said, oh,
Mm,
because once Southampton had beaten Middlesbrough, um, and it was mentioned, you didn't think for one moment they would actually pull them out of the final, the EFL, that is. Clearly,
mm,
there were breaches, which they've admitted now, breaches of this, that within 72 hours before a match, you can't be filming or watching the training of an opposition side. I mean, apparently this happens in Germany, and it's
mm,
not an offence out there. So it's a matter of it being one of our rules. And of course,
mm,
Southampton's manager is German, and his coaches as well, I think. And there's talk that depending on what happens with the appeal, that he may well be sacked and even punished by the EFL as well because he had an involvement in that.
mm,
Do I think Southampton should be thrown out of this? Now, okay, the appeal I think will happen today. They put out a message to their fans this morning that they've been told by their legal team, Southampton, that they will be reinstated and that their
mm,
fans can still enjoy a day at Wembley. Well, that may just be a bit optimistic. I don't know, but if that's a legal opinion, that's one way. But equally, I imagine the EFL have taken legal advice about throwing them out. I would say, I mean, I feel sorry for the fans because they're totally innocent in all this. But I
mm,
would say, if this decision stands, and many say it should, and there needs to be a punishment for the breaking of that rule, not just filming Middlesbrough's training, but also
mm,
Oxford and someone else as well. They've admitted to those doing the same thing. But if it
mm,
stands and they are kept down in the championship, personally, I find it a bit harsh to do a double penalty by taking 4 points away as well.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a massive punishment. I mean, okay, they're not in the Premier League. They still have to win the game against Hull, but they
yeah,
had a good chance. And of course, their players will be looking forward, if they do win, Premier League wages and all that goes with that. So you've got to
mm,
feel for the players as well and the fans. And that's
mm,
perhaps my only sense of doubt in all this. Perhaps the people who are really being punished are those
mm,
who had nothing to do with this. And that doesn't sit quite nicely with me. If it's the owners of the club, and I'm not saying it was, it seems to be a management and coach thing, but I don't know, so
mm,
I'm not suggesting that. But
mm,
why hit hard the fans and the players? Now, okay, you've got to have a punishment. Money wouldn't really be a punishment because clubs have so much money. But so I
mm,
don't know the real answer to that. But it'll depend on the appeal. But I still say if they stand by throwing them out of the fight, the playoff final on Saturday, then they
mm,
should not be given 4 points as well. That's rubbing salt into the wound. Again, the
mm,
people who are suffering are the fans and the players, so they
mm.
may need to rethink that. I would have thought.
Yeah. Tony?
Yeah, I mean it is what it is now. It's happened on it, and I think I saw something that it's going to be Middlesbrough versus Hull at the end on the final. I'm sure that's what I saw. I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but
Mm,
yeah, I mean, why even tempt it? Why even send someone out just to get their
Yeah.
tactics? I mean, you've played in Championship. They've already played each other, so
mm,
you should already know what they're thinking or how might they
mm,
do things. So I don't understand why even risk it. Why say, you know
mm.
what, mate, go record them, see what they're doing. Like, why even risk it at all? Because like you said, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's the fans who are, you know, who are punished as well. It's not just the players, it's the fans. They're the ones who are more or less paying the wages for everything. They come there
Yeah.
day in, day out on weekends and in the week as well. So
Mm,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you did, send someone out. You did spy. You should get punished for it. But at the end of the
mm,
day, it's a sad thing for the fans, obviously, because they want to go back in the Premier League. So you know, but
mm.
yeah, it's just one of those. Like, why even do it in the first place? Like I said, you should
Well,
know
Yeah.
it by now.
the silly thing
Yeah.
is, of course, what benefit are they likely to have got from?
Exactly.
I mean, they say their big problem was this guy didn't know how to stand behind a tree properly because he's standing to the side with his camera. He's caught. He goes back to his hotel, changes, comes back, and carries on. So, but what? Unless you're filming penalties, and you can see
Yeah.
why that could benefit a team if it's a penalty shootout or just a penalty, that could have.
Mm,
But if it's just filming training, I don't believe. I mean, people are allowed. Fans can go and watch their team train, as far as I can see. So I
yeah.
don't suppose Southampton got anything worthwhile out of that. So
Mm,
what have they done? They've torn themselves to bits over something pathetic, really.
yeah. Yeah. It's just I don't get it. It's just um eh, I mean, is it a mind game or I don't get it because the guy is probably I saw the photograph of it and I thought that's not a spy. He's not even made any
He wasn't
effort to
hiding.
hide.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't hiding, was he?
I made a great deal of effort to hide, is it? He just stood there behind a tree going like, that's okay. You're gonna get
I
caught.
wonder. I wonder who was filming him. There must have been, presumably, a Middlesbrough man hiding behind another tree filming him.
Yeah, that's it.
The
Yeah.
mind boggles. The mind boggles, doesn't it?
I know. It's strange. Right. Okay. So, France named we read out the country France. We read out their squad, World Cup squad last week. Now we've got Portugal's squad this week. Now let's see if any of these stand out. Diogo Costa. I didn't know he still played. I'm quite surprised. Uh,
He was a good player,
and
wasn't he? Very good player.
it was a good play. I don't know where he plays for now, but anyway. Jose Sa, Ruiz Silva, Ricardo Velho. Now Diogo Dalot. Yeah, that rings a
Yeah,
bell, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Matheus Nunes. Is that a Premier? That's a Premier League player, isn't it?
yeah, he's
Matheus Nunes.
Manchester City, isn't he? Man
Yeah.
City.
Ah, right. Yeah, that's it.
He's a
Yeah, I thought
brilliant player as well. Brilliant player.
yeah, I thought it rang a bell. Nelson Semedo. João Cancelo, Nuno Mendes, Goncalo Inacio, Renato Viega, Ruben Diaz. Is that's another Premier League
Man
player?
City. Man
Man
City.
City
Yeah.
again, yeah.
He's injured at the moment,
Tom,
I think.
all right, well, he's in the squad. He better get back. Get back. Get
Yeah.
better soon.
Mm.
Anyway, Thomas Araujo.
Arujo.
Araujo. Yeah, Arujo. Is he Arujo? Yeah, Arujo. Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves. Premier League.
Evans. Yeah, I think
Ruben
so. I think
Neves.
he was at,
Premier
he
League.
may have
Yeah.
been at Wolves at one stage, I think.
I think
Ah,
so, yeah.
right. Yeah. Right. Samuel Costa. João Neves. Ventina. Bruno Fernandes. Ah.
I was waiting for
Bernardo
Bruno
Silva.
to come up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Bernardo Silva.
Mm.
Yeah.
João Felix. João Felix.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
plays in the Saudi with Ronaldo.
Is he? I
Yeah.
thought I thought he was in Premier League. No.
Well, he
But
was at Atletico Madrid, or was
all
it
right.
Barca? And then he
Oh,
moved to Saudi to play with Ronaldo.
all right. So Trincao, Francisco Conceição, Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto.
Chelsea.
Where does he?
Yeah.
Chelsea, yeah,
Chelsea.
that's it. Rafael Lead, uh, Gonzalo Guedes, Gonzalo Ramos, and then Cristiano Ronaldo. Who was waiting for that? Cristiano Ronaldo.
We all knew. We all knew.
Inevitable.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Now, bro, would you have Ronaldo in your squad if you was the manager?
Um, I suppose inevitably you've got to say yes. I mean, he's one of the greats of all time, isn't he? So, and he's still going for these 1,000 goals. Although I think the ones in the Saudi league may be a bit weaker in terms of the standard there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think he can also always do a job in the dressing room. He's not going to be
Right.
flying down the wing. I think for Portugal, he tends to sort of play forward midfield or even up front. He's still, you don't just lose your football brain or your innate ability. So I think he's always going to be worth putting there. You may not start him every game. It just depends on his current form, his injury status, because he's over 40, isn't he? I believe he's 40 now. So
Hmm.
he's doing pretty well to be in a World Cup squad. But yes, I will put him in there. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I, I forgot to warn you before you answered because the enforcer is a massive fan of Ronaldo. I was gonna say be careful what you say, but it's too
Yeah.
late. As soon as you said yes, I heaved a sign of relief. So
Sigh of
yeah,
relief.
go on.
Yeah, I mean, it's no shock that Ronaldo's going to be in there. I mean, at the end of the
Mm,
day, he is the person who put Portugal on the map. So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, even though, you've got all these great players, Bruno Fernandes, Pedro Neto, and all these lot, um,
mm,
they don't, in my opinion, they don't really play well without him because there was a friendly between Portugal and Croatia, and I was worried for myself, because it is Portugal at the end of the day. And
yeah.
Ronaldo was on the bench to start with, and
Hmm.
they didn't really do well at all. I think we went 2 goals up within the first half, and then
Oh.
eventually Ronaldo came on, and I think it was end up 2-1 the
Mm,
scoreline. But I mean, normally, like if I don't watch them all the time, but if I see like the playing, if I always
mm,
know when they're doing bad, I can already tell Ronaldo's not playing. I can already
right.
tell. I don't have to look.
Yeah.
So yes, I know you can say whatever you want. Ronaldo, he is getting, he should be retired by now, but
Yeah.
he's still like the main guy there, and I feel like without him,
Mm,
I don't see him going far without him.
Yeah.
Like I said, he put
no.
them on the map. Bruno is great. Don't get me wrong. I love Bruno,
Mm,
but he- he- the squad itself,
mm,
it's missing Ronaldo in a sense. Like let's say Ronaldo goes now,
mm,
it's not going to be the same. Yeah, to be fair, they've done okay recently. There are
mm,
some
Yeah.
games where Ronaldo's on the bench that
mm,
they've come back in a sense, but it's missing. Like
mm,
they're looking for another, in a sense, another Ronaldo. Maybe it might be
mm,
his son, but yeah, it is always concerned because if Ronaldo goes,
mm,
Portugal as a whole, it kind of gets overshadowed a bit because Ronaldo was the main thing for Portugal. Like I said, he brought them from nothing. Like I don't
mm,
remember a time before Ronaldo where Portugal was the star of anything, or even at the time I didn't know any other players really.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
So yeah, it, it, I'm not surprised that he's in it, but at the end of the day, I feel like they still need him. You know?
mm.
The
Yeah.
only
So
thing I
you
would
would,
say,
yeah, bro,
sorry, yeah.
sorry.
No, the
Yeah.
only thing I would say to that, Tony, is that, and I don't disagree with what you say. I mean, he's a great player, but there may come a point where someone has been around such a long time that his presence could inhibit some of the developing team. Now, someone's got to take over his mantle of running the
Mm,
team, everything working around, and you've got the perfect person there in Bruno Fernandes. I mean, you watch him
mm,
with Man United, most things seem to revolve around him. I think he's one of the great world midfield players, and I really put him up that high. So I think
mm,
he could very well be the one, he will be, I expect, who takes over from the
mm,
almost the aura of somebody like Ronaldo. And my only concern, if it were my team, it might, Portuguese, Portugal, etc., would be that maybe Ronaldo is such a an automatic player in the team, and that everything has to go around him by definition of the fact that he's playing. I just
mm,
wonder if that could kind of upset the balance elsewhere. If someone like Bruno, for example, thinks, well, actually, I'm having to adapt my natural game because
mm.
in deference to Ronaldo. Now, that may be rubbish, I
Oh,
don't know, but I just think there
yeah.
does come a time when a great player has to hang up the old boots for the sake of
Mm,
the development of those behind him.
Yeah, I
mm,
thought the same thing, just to build upon that. I thought the same thing where, there are some youngsters coming up through Portuguese ranks that who want to
mm,
play, just even get their first game and just to show what they can
Yeah,
do. But because Ronaldo's
mm,
day, it's hard. And like I
yeah,
said, I do love the guy, but there are some times where you think, you know what, try give someone else a bit of a go, but
yeah,
mm.
it's always down. It's never easy, regardless.
No, no,
Uh,
he wields a lot of influence in that team, doesn't he? Right, okay, so just lastly, England. We're looking to end over 60 years of hurt, they call it.
Because the song
What?
30 Years of Hurt was 30 years ago, wasn't it? For goodness sake.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts, bro?
I think we will have as good a chance as others. I think Tuchel is a good manager. I still
Mm,
say I'd like to see him and other managers play their chosen team in the games leading up to the tournament, which we tend not to
mm,
do. He's giving minutes to everybody in sight. But I think he knows his stuff. He's going to choose the best players, I'm sure. And
mm,
it's probably good that I don't think any England fan's going to go into this thinking, oh, we're going to win this, because we've been
mm,
been there and bought the T-shirt, haven't we? We've been so optimistic ever since the
mm,
30 years of hurt that we're going to do it this time, and then the golden generation and so on. It doesn't seem to happen, but I think we've
mm,
got some good players, and it's just if the planets align and the stars and the moon come in sight of each other, maybe it will happen. We need to get
mm,
everything coming together, the perfect storm of ability, of talent, of lack of injuries, of
mm,
motivation, of luck on the day, because you always need a bit of luck to win something. And
mm,
it could come back and surprise us that the men could do what the women now have done a couple of times
mm.
with their Euros. Brilliant work
Oh,
to win that two consecutive times. It would just be great if the men can now emulate that and win the World Cup for us. What a boost that would be for this country at a time when we really need it.
I second that. I second that. Right, the enforcer, England's chances in the World Cup.
the funny thing is, it's literally me versus you, the first match of the World Cup as well. So, so
Right. Uh,
it's going to be a tough one. It will be because I mean, regardless, you are a good squad, but
mm,
there are hungrier teams as well that want to win it. So
mm,
you you are expecting to go far, but at the end of the day, I feel like the squad itself, the England squad, is very good. But
mm.
I always said it, and I still will say it: it's the ego. Until you get rid of
Ah,
that
right,
ego, it's not going to help you
Yeah,
in any sense.
yeah,
right,
Because you've got
right.
a lot of these youngsters that are like Jude. Like, I love Jude Bellingham, but his ego
Yeah.
is very high. And then you've got a
All right.
few others. I mean, like you've got Kobe's ego as well. You've got a
Yeah.
lot of these players. The egos are very high. You need
Yeah.
more players like Harry Kane. They don't talk about. They let the goals talk for him. So,
Mm.
like I said, they don't make players like Harry Kane anymore and stuff like that.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
No,
quite
no.
unfortunate, really. So, like I said, you would go a lot far if you just drop the ego.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I hope Thomas Tuchel's listening, but we're all up for England. I wanna
Yep,
I I wanna do that. I wanna do that parade with the World Cup, Oh, come on, England.
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so this is all so this is all we've got time for on the second segment of the football referee. Um It's been lovely to have. It's been lovely to have you join us with. I'm talking about the audience, our live audience. There will be a recorded release as well. We'll be releasing in in addition to the live that you've just seen. So this is where we call it a day. I've been Emmy Hickens, and he calls me Cuz. Just
I call you Cuz. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv.
And I'm Tony, and they call me the Enforcer.
That's the only person that doesn't get his name mixed up. He just knows that I'm the enforcer. I'm not. I'm not getting it confused. Yeah. Join us again next week for another live, interesting, double segmented show of the football referee. So goodbye from me.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye from me.